So yesterday was a bear trap, and even into today, this morning with the open. But are we setting up a bull trap on the S&P 500? Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up, like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Come find me on CarnivoreTrades.com for swing trading alerts, analysis, and live day trading. Let's get into it. It is Wednesday, April 23rd, 2025, and we had a pretty eventful session here, although just lots of volatility and liquidity very low here in this market. It's so sensitive to headlines, and obviously more walkbacks of the China tough talk. Although we had Besant speaking this morning, and he kind of walked some of that back. Again, it's like, dude, it's like what trade talks? Like, oh, the ones you were talking about an hour ago, and now market kind of fading here on its own off the highs. We were really stretched here on the low time frames. Just 5% in basically not even two trading sessions, and kind of back up into these into this high here. And we did kind of fade off the highs by the end of the day, but I just want to be careful, or just warn everybody. I like literally my entire timeline right now is obsessing over this gap and this one too, and rightfully so. I mean, it's obviously not necessarily like a healthiest move to do that. It is just kind of squeezing right now, and we still have resistance at between 54.50, 54.70, that big wick, the big inside bar from the historic sell, or the historic reversal on April 9th. And we have some obviously just a big one in the sand at 5,500 nonetheless. But just be aware here, and I'm not calling for this, but I am saying that a lot of people are looking for this gap fill, and you can see we faded off into the lows of the day at the end of the day, and then they kind of just popped it back up. My guess is a lot of people are positioned short for a gap fill. That doesn't mean it won't fill, but I know this sounds crazy, but it can go to 5,500 first and then go to fill that. Tomorrow there is still a lot of positive gamma, positive delta, even up at that area, and the volume has picked up on that tremendously. And 5,400 has still got positive delta and gamma for tomorrow too. So there's really not, I mean, Trump's speaking in an hour, I think, so he could juice this thing one more time. It's really not out of the question. So that could still, and I mean, we could still go to 5,500 and then back off from there, right? I mean, there's still a lot of resistance up here, and we still have, like I was saying yesterday, we still have to tighten up a lot and do more backing and filling in order to really build a base here if we're going to move higher. That said, I mean, would I be like, gig along or anything into the close? No, I'm not saying that that's a good idea. You definitely have to be sized down if you're day trading in this market, because we're getting like 50 is the new 10 points now on ES. It really is like that. I mean, look at this, this move right here. I mean, just this, like the low of the day here to the high, that's 60 points, right? That's just normal move now, right? So, obviously, logically speaking, reasonably, yeah, you'd think that we should go and fill the gap, but I think that's why there's a risk to the upside still, because a lot of the time the market doesn't do the most rational thing. In fact, it does the opposite very, very often. Kind of like how gold is finally now just pulling back here. People were shorting it this whole way up. Oh, it's overbought, it's overbought, it's overbought. But overbought gets more overbought. So again, just food for thought there. I certainly wouldn't be shocked if we filled the gap tomorrow. I'm not saying we shouldn't. I even said yesterday I think we should do some backing and filling here, but also just be aware that like these moves tend to they tend to happen this way. The thing you think can't happen usually does happen. So just watch for that. And I again, the delta's there, the gamma's there, so it's certainly possible. But right now, a couple other things too. If we look at the Qs here, we did break a down sloping trend line from pretty much the high, and we're right above that. We did close above the 20 moving average for only the third time on the triple Qs here, although we did close off the highs, but we closed above it for the third time since this sell. So maybe a little bit of a continued relief here, or at least a sign that we have continued relief. And a good little trend line break there. You can see the semis did lead the way. We're up about 3.6. So that's always good to see. Also good to see the dollar index rallying back and taking out yesterday's high. Again, it's still really beaten down, but I think this is something that you want to see recover here if we're going to see any sort of sustained recovery in equities. The 30-year, again, the yield was down, but not by a lot, right? I'm still cautiously optimistic that TLT can, you know, try to carve out some sort of a low here. I don't know if that's going to last all that long, but I do think it is a little one-sided here. But yeah, I mean, that's your other kind of red flag, is that this didn't really, I mean, it gapped up today, but it didn't hold the gains. But you still had a lot of other things kind of confirming the risk on, right? Bitcoin up again, up big. We've noted that the Russell 2000 has been outperforming lately. And obviously that had a good day today too. So certain risk on assets acting like risk on usually isn't that bad of a sign. But I would have really liked it for bulls if yields were a little bit quieter. One thing though, and I building off of yesterday, we talked about this gold down and silver up. So gold to silver ratio coming back in. That's usually a good sign of risk. And lastly, well, we can talk about dollar yen too. Dollar yen was up. Oh, the yield curve. Yeah, 2s and 10s. Forgetting about all this stuff here. There's just so much stuff that goes on nowadays here. But yeah, the yield curve, 2s and 10s did come back in. So that is a positive, at least for now. Anyway, but yeah, we'll watch. You know, I would say right now, again, you still got a lot of resistance at 54.50. And then 5,500, but I wouldn't be surprised if they try to juice this one more time here. I just think a lot of people are playing for that gap fill, and it doesn't mean it won't fill, but sometimes it happens out of order or out of the order you think it's going to happen in. So just be aware of that. Again, Qs, there's, you know, a lot of interest at 465 for tomorrow. We didn't quite get there. And then you got 450, and then of course the gap fill on the downside. But again, good move here, and the Nasdaq led today. Russell up 1.5. Again, we talked about 195 being a level. It backed right off of that. Dow 400, sloppy pattern here, but just like SPX here, you know, if we come down here and we put in another higher low on this, I mean, that can go right through. So this is knocking on the door. It's got equal highs. Well, you got to get that. I think you got to either get a third higher low here, or at least consolidate this move tightly and sideways a little bit longer. Sammy's here again, up 3.6. IGV, this is firm. A nice move there. Palantir had a nice outside move up today too. So good move there for PLTR. Transports, good up move. Backed off the highs like everything else. Still got that inside bar there. And it's trying to curl back up. XHB again, that did actually finish red, so gap and crap in housing. Still has the inside bar though. Well, we went into all these low pivots, and that backed off. VNQ backed off, but again, higher highs as well. So VNQ continues to impress here. It did sell Monday, but then right back up, right off the 20 MA, extended 1-day sell. So that's showing us a lot of strength there, at least on a relative basis. XLF, beautiful outside move too. I mean, it came off the highs, yeah, but I mean, you closed back above the 200 decisively, and you gapped above it and held. So XLF in good shape here. If you want to look at more of a pure bank ETF, there's VFH. Doesn't have Berkshire in it. KRE, again, back above the 20. Back into this beautiful 618 test a few weeks ago, by the way. That was really nice. And then right back into this pivot right here at about, what, 54 or 50? Yeah. So nice move. Levels are acting, respecting pretty well here. Broker dealers, look at that big outside move. Test the red bar high from a few weeks ago. So XBD leading. Oil coming up off the lows again, but it did back off today. I do have a small position in this. And yeah, it's off the lows here. We'll see what it does in the after hours. Would have preferred a break above 62.60 by the end of the day, but I still like this pattern. It might need to do a little bit more consolidation. Might even need a higher low here, but there's a lot of shorts, like a lot of shorts in this. So, and I just think, the macro trade is always, there's never a shortage of oil bears, always in a macro trade. And I think there's a lot of them out there right now. Energy down 2%. XLE flat. Not terrible close considering oil is down. XOP and OIH both flat to negative as well. And we got nat gas still holding on to that $3 handle, but not really doing much, is it? Not really getting a convincing bounce. We'll see what it looks like at the end of the week. Decent action. Dollar again inching up. Gold, you know, it may have a high in place. It may. There's a lot of volume here, and the last time we had volume this high was April of last year, almost exactly a year ago, April 11th or 12th. And that's what it looked like. A lot of the time, that's what will happen. I referred to that like a month ago. I said, sometimes you do this, you'll pull back and then you'll retrace. So sometimes you'll make a slight higher high. Now, this is more than a slight higher high. It was like 10%. But sometimes that does happen. The first distribution is very rarely the actual high. It's usually like you get another peak, you know, even in the spiders, for instance, right? Like big outside move, right? Chop, 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 high, right? And then went down. So, but yeah, we'll see. I know that I really wish they just keep missing these levels in regular trading hours. I like 320. But it's just like China is in control of this. Every time the Chinese market opens, it starts popping or it starts doing this. You know, I hit 322 after hours, but you know, what am I going to do? Like, I'm not going to stay up all night and trade this. You know, I don't really care that much. But it did hit the 320 dealer level, and it's backing off. So we'll see if that continues. Seasonally, it's right around the time to top out. Silver is finally catching up. The jaws are finally coming shut, but I wonder if it's too late in the season to make new highs. We'll see. The monthly chart, again, we talked about this. All that is a test. So, I mean, the line in the sand's right there, though. It's got to get through 35. If it can do that, it can moon. But I'm kind of thinking this move is getting close to its conclusion here in precious metals. Platinum, a good day, though. Palladium as well. So, again, industrial metals outperforming gold. You know, is usually a good sign of risk. So. Copper here flat after pushing higher earlier. So not much going on there. And then we got Bitcoin, which was pretty strong. I mean, this was kind of your sign here, but back inside of this area. And again, we've talked about this ad nauseum, but I'll just keep saying it. Like, until this monthly really breaks down, this is not bearish. Yes, it could do backing and filling. It could go lower. It could test lower price. But like all you did is back test this pivot here, and it's holding. If you get a weekly close above that dump bar right there, 95, that's really strong. Alts held up pretty well too. Trump coin, Trump baby. I think what is he gonna do? He invited a bunch of people to dinner or something like that. Oh my God, this is fun. A lot of fun. I told you guys, by the way, this administration, like, there's leaks everywhere. You know, I told you on Monday, I was like, this sell off here, like, this is ODTE slam, and they wanted to get to 510 specifically for a reason, and they got there, and yeah, leaks, lots of them. Anyway, let's see here. ES holding up right now in the after hours. I don't think there's any big earnings today. CMG, Lamb Research. Lamb Research is always late to report. Oh, it's up $3. Chipotle. Oh, Chipotle's down for once on earnings. Wow. So we got the big ones tomorrow. Google. So yeah, IBM down a couple points. Nothing terrible. But yeah, we got Google, Intel, T-Mobile, kind of it for the big ones. We got AAL in the morning. Procter Gamble. We got Newmont out. I don't know if that's doing anything. It doesn't look like it's doing much right now. But either way, we'll see what we get here. Again, yeah, could we go down and fill the gap? You know, is this not the most healthiest move? Not really, but every single person in the world is looking at this gap right now. And they did try to fade it into the afternoon. You notice how it held there and then it popped back up. I've seen these rug pulls before. So sometimes the market will go where you think it wants to, but usually it takes the worst route to get there. That's kind of what I always say. So anyways, guys, I'll wrap it up here. Again, you guys take care. Come find me on carnivoretrades.com. I'll see you guys all tomorrow.